This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on elrodvinetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on elrodvinetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to elrodvinetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.
Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. I'm Lauren Selrod.
And I'm Meryl Klimo.
Hi, Meryl. How are you today?
Hi. I'm so good. I just got back from a vacation in Miami, Florida.
Ooh, nice.
I had the best time. It's so funny because I feel like everyone's like, why are you going? It's just palm trees and like more good weather, which is like what California is. But I think Miami is so awesome. I mean, the people are hot. The weather's good. The food is so good.
Speaking of weather, how was the weather down there?
Oh my God, literally perfect. It was like beach. I mean, like out here is sunny, but I feel like there's something about the nice Miami, like warm sun that I just feel like I'm already an 80-year-old woman. Like I like to do all the things that 80-year-old women do. And so, I just go and walk around Florida and walk around Miami, and it's just like so relaxing. But I'm sure you can relate. I'm sure our listeners can relate. We're like, I'm back from a vacation where I spent a lot of money and ate a lot of sodium. And so today I'm just like, everything is like puffed out and I have no money. So. But it was worth it.
Good.
How about
my
you?
weekend was pretty good. Didn't really do anything special. Just got a bunch of stuff done, working on new projects coming out. Battling this incredible weather. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I know I've been seeing videos of just like the Chicago lakes, like people are walking on it and everything. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm really surprised people are walking on the lake because even though the weather has been very frigid, I don't know if it's really that cold to be walking on a lake,
Mm-hmm.
But people do all kinds of crazy stuff. So, well, we typically as a show never really get deep into politics or anything going on. But I think that this first story is something that that touched my heart, and I think that touched the heart of Americans all around the country. And I think we would do a disservice by not even bringing it up. But I'm referring to the Alex Pready shooting by ICE officers. Unless you were under a rock or in a different country or whatever, this is the situation where originally the Department of Justice stated that he was very confronting officers. He were brandishing a weapon. He's this homegrown terrorist and all kinds of crazy things. But in reality, he's an ICU nurse. He also didn't do any of those things. In fact, once the video came out, it showed that the ICE officers actually approached him. He actually had his camera out, nothing in his other hand, and he stepped into the scene to help a woman that got pushed down by ICE. Mm-hmm. So, whether you agree or disagree about him helping that woman, it still doesn't justify what they did. The other thing that makes this thing so disturbing is that they talked about him brandishing a weapon and carrying a weapon to a protest. Well, understand that there are different laws in different states. Mm-hmm. In the state of Minnesota, you can legally have a weapon open carry. Open carry means showing it in a holster on your side. That is legal, and it's legal to come. protest. So he didn't break any laws. The other thing they did too is when he was starting to help the lady off the ground, they started spraying them, and I'm assuming with bear spray because that's normally what they use, because it was real heavy and thick. The other thing too is several agents jumped on top of him, and you can clearly see one agent takes the weapon off of him, and then a second or two later, he gets shot 10 times. I don't know. I mean, I just have no words for what we saw. I mean, what do you think, Meryl?
I agree with you. I feel like, well, first of all, I think you laid that out beautifully in terms of what the truth is. And like, thank goodness we have video documents. And I think I was watching Jon Stewart or someone, and they said such a thing that made me think, where they were like, he actually was carrying a weapon. The weapon was like his phone. And now we can see, everything that's going on in a way that is weaponized towards the parties that are saying like, this person's a domestic terrorist or whatever. I feel like nothing is going to beat a regime more than the actual truth of what we're seeing. And the fact that we can all see these video footage from like, I feel like I've seen it from at least like 7 different angles at this point. And that was the same, the murder before that, I saw that as well, where it's like, we're seeing in the car, outside of the car, from like a innocent bystander's point of view. And I agree with you. It's just really terrible. And like, I feel like I have, I'm sure we all have to fight that feeling of being powerless, because it does feel like there's not a lot that we can do, just because this does feel like such a big force. But I always keep remembering too that protesters like Alex and everyone, we are all just responding to the fact that ICE isn't doing their job of what they're supposed to be doing, which is like taking bad criminals who are doing bad things that are actually violent and actually a threat to us. And like, I understand, and this is such a big conversation, but I don't think we're going to abolish ICE, but I definitely think we should like reform ICE and redo what it is supposed to do, which is like look out for our best interest. Mm-hmm. And I just keep thinking like we are all responding to them not doing their jobs correctly and hurting innocent citizens and just taking down everyone in their path, and obviously breaking a lot of rules and amendments and constitutional rights. So I don't know how it's going to go. And I just I don't know if this is going to get worse or if it's going to, I think Donald Trump is definitely going to feel some pressure from people, because I think this is starting to alarm voters of all kinds. And like the one thing Trump doesn't want is just to be unpopular and like, have people start to like hate him and just kind of I know people say he doesn't care, but I think when it's as obvious as this, he's going to, I don't know, hopefully rein it in quite a bit. But yeah, it's like unfathomable. And I think this guy too, as you said, he was a nurse that like cared for veterans and was just trying to help someone else. So this is not like a terrorist person that was trying to just go out and shoot up people for no reason.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, whatever political spectrum a person's on, the fact is the only real reason why the administration is taking a second look at this is because of all the press. I mean, let's be realistic. Their first go-to was to lie through their teeth. And the evidence is so overwhelming that on one hand, maybe they will rein this in a little bit. Will it stop them? I doubt it. So right. It may rein them in. But the thing that really bothers me the most about this is that a man had to lose his life in order for this to even happen. This conversation,
Exactly. And the fact that like he didn't have his weapon on him when they shot him, so there's no chance. And then also like if someone's being unruly, maybe detain them, or I could see even arresting them, but like shooting them dead is just like, what? That's crazy that would be like the first thing that we go to. And I feel like they should be trained to do 30 things before that, whether that's, arresting them or some type of other situation if they really do feel violent. But it's just crazy. And I feel like people keep on calling them police, and I'm like, they are not police officers. I feel like this is something else completely, which is really scary. And I'm sure like just like everyone, we've had my partner and I have had conversations about like what we do if they come to our house, or all that kind of stuff. And so it's like I'm sure lots of us are feeling. It's giving very like Germany vibes. And so, and as a Jewish person, it's always like, oh, I would be the person that stands up for everyone, and I would house people and speak up and everything. And then it's like you're seeing this and you want to speak up and speak out, but then there's a certain limit of like where we are fearful, and it's just yeah, it's crazy.
But the scary thing is, it's good that you guys did have that conversation, but it's also sad that
Yeah,
you had that conversation at the same time.
exactly.
And the thing that's amazing to me is how ruthless they are. Um, I don't think they have any real training because I know to be a federal agent, and again, it varies from department to department. There's extensive
Right.
training that needs to be done. And they basically, I want to say they hired like thousands. I don't know what the exact number is, but thousands of new ICE agents that literally had
Yeah.
weeks of training. And it's like, so what did they get trained on if they're just being pushed in that fast? And it's like they feel that they have nobody to report to. Now, the one thing that's interesting, and I've had conversations with people about this, Merle, is that what the officers don't realize, um, when you're dealing with the president, that's a whole different situation all in its own. When it comes to laws and everything else, that one isn't so straightforward. As a citizen or an officer, that's a totally different situation.
Mm-hmm.
While they're, probably, feeling that, no one could touch them, they have permanent immunity and stuff. Trump's not going to be in office forever. And murder does not have a statute of limitations, which means they could come at you
Yeah.
89 years later. So I
Yeah.
think there's going to be justice for what's done. I don't think it's going to happen right away, but I think that it will come at some point. And I would say to people, continue to exercise your right to speak up, to protest. Just be careful how you do it, because ICE has clearly, in my opinion, proved that they feel they can do whatever they want to whoever they want. So, if you have to zoom in with your camera, whatever, but just stay as far away from as possible. Try not to engage with them. Yes, I know it sounds crazy because we have the First Amendment. They should be able to do that, but
Yeah.
I don't know, Meryl. Do you think I'm crazy in what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what we had too. Because I feel like my boyfriend can be like sassy and have an attitude, and so I'm like, if we want to fight this thing and be part of kind of the resistance, I think that we can do it in a smart way, where like you do it with money or with voting or with every. This seems like a losing battle to just be in the moment fighting with people, like using violence or any type of no one threatening violence, but I mean like like in the moment, the best thing to me you can just do is kind of get away and like try to take people with you, and then fight it on the other end, which really matters, which is more of the actual like voting and money and all that stuff. So yeah, it's crazy we have to talk about that, and just the fact that like kids and old people are being taken, and it's just like that's why we need to rein it in completely. And that's where I think like our other voters, like our Supreme Court and our everything, have to help. We have to like plead to those people too to really help reform it of what it is. So because like just like the whole defund the police and everything like that, I don't think we're going about to go to a whole like 180 and abolish things and change things, but I think we can have like a actual like a more sensible plan.
Oh, exactly. And the one thing people have to understand is that if it can happen to them, why can't it happen to you? I mean, that's just a reality.
Yeah. And like every day, yeah, I'm sure we all feel that way. Like I saw one of my best friends posted a meme about like someone disabled passed away because their caregiver was taken by ICE. And it's just like, so, I've read about people having seizures and everything. It's just like the craziest thing. And so that's just, and like, I understand that in different administrations, people were detained and people were sent away as well, but we just haven't heard about people being like shot in cold blood and just senseless taken away with like no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like I said, because this story is so important, at some point, I will be doing a follow-up to this story to see what, if anything, has been done
Yeah.
to this. But again, I think this is so important that we talk about this and talk about it out loud.
Exactly. And the people that are saying like he had a gun, these are also tend to be, and like I'm okay with guns and all that kind of stuff, but it's like these are the people that are also saying it's okay to carry a gun, and you can, if you have a permit for it, you're allowed as a citizen to, in the right state, to have a weapon or a gun on you if you're like a license holder. So yeah.
Here's the crazy thing, Merle, to people that make that, well, he had a gun. Yes, he did have a gun, and he had his gun legally, and
Exactly.
his hand was not on the gun. And here's the crazy
Exactly.
part.
No.
So for all the people that want to talk all this nonsense or whatever, and I typically don't go this route, explain to me, how is he a threat if one officer takes his gun away and then a few seconds later they start opening fire? I would love to find that out.
Right. Yes. And I just don't understand that people that are pro this, like ICE just isn't doing their job correctly. So like I don't understand what, because you can be in favor of like, okay, really, you could totally be in favor of like tighter border security or certain immigration laws and enforcing them, but like they're not doing their job correctly. So I don't understand any different like viewpoints of this, because I don't know.
Yeah, and you can't take this position that, well, he's a bad guy because he's against what I believe in, because we've all seen plenty of armed people with AK-47s walking through protests and nothing done or said to them. That's been
Right.
done over and over and over again. So I don't want to hear that crap. And the crazy thing is, he wasn't brandishing his weapon. His weapon was in his waistband, from what I hear. And you can clearly see
Exactly.
before they shot, they took the weapon away from him. Now, here's the thing. If there was a video of him pointing a gun at them, whole different conversation. But that didn't happen.
Right. No. And if there was like situations where people are rightfully taking away like violent criminals who have a proven track record of violence, then I don't think people would be out in the streets like, as much. Of course, we would want it to have it do it as like safely as possible or whatever, but people are responding because they're not doing what they are supposed to be doing. So I think that's what like people need to remember too, is that most, we're responding because innocent people and children are being hurt, and it's like the wrong way of doing things.
Yeah, and I think, where I like to close in on this conversation is, we take it for granted, I think, sometimes, but the best way to fix this nonsense is to vote. And understand, when you vote, I think we as an American people stop voting on one thing. And what I mean by that is, you have a candidate that has this one thing that you're in love with, but all these other bad portions still come with that person. So they're not going to stop being this horrible person over here just because you like this one or two policies here. You have to look at the whole person and understand, if they could be mean and nasty and vicious towards other people, why wouldn't they be that way towards you? We've seen it this many times, and it's played out the same. So the way to stop this nonsense is to go to voting booths and understand that there is a way to rein in the president. You got your people that you vote in office, like your senators and congressmen, and there's a lot that are like radio silent on all these things. Remember them when you go into the voting booth. That's how you get your revenge. That's how you make change.
This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on LRADVnetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on lrodthnetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to lrodthnetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.
Exactly. That is very well said. Oh, man. Well, the second biggest rift in the whole wide world that everyone's talking about to somewhat lighten up the mood, but still is, I forget if we've talked about this at all, but Brooklyn Beckham, obviously the son of David and Victoria Beckham, has been, made news it's been a while that he posted about why he's estranged from his parents, and also claimed that Victoria, the mom, has been acting inappropriately for quite some time between Brooklyn and his wife, Nicola, their relationship, and kind of the mom has been inserting herself to the point where even at the wedding, Victoria was like cutting in on the first dance and dancing inappropriately, which we don't know what that means. But now he's facing a harsh ultimatum from David and Victoria amid the deepening family rift. They're basically saying, of course, they're saying that that they still love him and they want to have communication, but they're also saying, you're still part of this family. And people are wondering about okay, then do you have any trust fund, or are you getting any money from your parents? And if so, if you really want to estrange yourself, you have to make sure to give that money back or drop the Beckham name. I don't know. What do you think about all this?
Well, I think it shows that I don't care how much money or fame you have, families are still families. But when you're a celebrity, it gets aired out. I get what some people are saying about the family, the money, name, and all that. I don't think he needs to do any of those things personally. I think what they need to do is stop airing their dirty laundry. I think that's what they really need to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. I mean, I do understand why Brooklyn would post one time on his stories to kind of explain everything, because it seemed like it was coming out of nowhere and people were accusing him of being a spoiled brat or hating his parents. And so I think probably on his end, he just needs to state once why he was separating himself from the parents and blocking them. But it definitely, I don't know, it kind of is a red flag when a couple separates themselves from the parents of, especially the son, I know that happened. People were definitely saying that it was giving Meghan Markle vibes, where Meghan came in and kind of made Harry leave the royal family and pressured him a lot to estrange himself. But I don't know. Something tells me that there's probably truth on both sides for this.
Yeah, I agree. And the one thing I think people need to be careful about is there's a lot of dynamics that happen in a family. And when you don't know the whole story, you need to be careful as far as taking sides or throwing your opinions here and there, because there may be backstories that you're not aware of. And, when people start airing stuff, they selectively pick out what they share. Meaning that they'll tell you stuff about the other person, but they don't tell you why that person or those people reacted the way they did as well either.
Yep. It just goes to show too that the more we see big families with a ton of money, the more crazy and messed up it is, so just a reminder that if people seem to have it all, fancy cars and fancy house on the outside, it's family dynamics are still tough for many people, and it only makes it more heightened when they're really rich and famous.
Yeah, I agree. And I think some people are looking at it as, holy crap, they're just like our family. Except they have money. It's the big difference.
Exactly. My parents have to tell me I don't need to see them so much because I'm obsessed with them. So mine's the opposite issue.
Well, continuing on the theme of incredible stories, I have to admit I'm really surprised about this one, but Netflix has just crossed the 325 million subscriber mark.
Wow.
I knew they had a lot of subscribers, Meryl, but I did not know it was that many.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Netflix officially surpassed that 325 million paid subscriber mark by the end of 2025. And according to their fourth quarter earnings report announced on January 26, this milestone confirms their position as the leading streaming service with a global audience approaching 1 billion viewers, and that's billions with a B. What do you think, Meryl? Did this surprise you?
Yeah. Sometimes I mean, besides watching Stranger Things, sometimes I'm like, why do I subscribe to Netflix again? It just seems like, even though they don't have a ton of programming that I really like, it just seems like we all know that we have to somehow subscribe to Netflix. Like, it's just one of those kind of givens. But I really think, for me personally, besides Stranger Things, and a few others, like I actually think I could go without Netflix, but I don't know. Like, are there any big Netflix shows that you really like?
Um, Actually, I watched Sinners on Netflix, and we'll be talking about that later. I've also watched a
Mhm.
bunch of other movies, and also there is I want to say it's singing a rap competition that I currently just started watching on Netflix. And let me grab my notes here, see if I have it. Oh, Rhythm and Flow. And basically, a bunch of aspiring rappers get on there, and it's the rap version, basically, of America's Got Talent, or any of those other shows, but primarily
Okay.
so the thing is that I've seen from personally how streaming has definitely changed the whole world as far as people going to the movies. In fact, what's interesting, and I told my wife this, a lot of movies aren't even going to the theater anymore. It's going straight to Netflix or other streaming channels
I
now.
know. Yeah.
And we're talking
Yeah,
about,
I like them. I like
oh yeah, especially like high budget. In fact, I remember about a month or two ago, I watched a movie with Denzel Washington, and I forgot the other star that I never heard this movie before. It was a newer movie, but it didn't go to theaters, or excuse me, if it did, it wasn't there very long, and it went straight to streaming.
Yeah,
And
and I can't believe how fast it goes.
oh, absolutely. And the thing is too is that, let's face it, when you go to the movies, the experience is great. I love going to the movies, but it's not a cheap outing either.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's funny. Like, a lot of my conspiracy people believe that like Netflix is the most demonic out of all the streaming channels. They definitely do carry a lot of like evil shows. Like, I don't know, Netflix definitely is very like, a lot of, sometimes the shows I'm like, this is all like very like, at one point I think it was like Walking Dead, a lot of zombie stuff, a lot of like paranormal stuff. So I don't know, verdict's out on that. But
yeah, you're right, Meryl. There is a lot of shows like that on Netflix. A lot more than I thought was there. So I do understand what you're saying.
exactly. But then I think you just have to find your thing. Like, mine is definitely more like Gossip Girl and more like comedy and everything. So I feel like you can make Netflix lighthearted, but it definitely does do a lot of like weird content.
That's true. Now, here's an interesting question to you. I don't think we'll ever lose the experience of movie theaters like we did with drive-ins. But do you think that with this current shift in in looking at streaming services, do you think that the movie industry, as far as theaters, is going to take a bigger hit?
Um, it's so funny. I don't think so, because I think more and more people are maybe wanting to, like, especially with the AMC passes. Like, I have the monthly pass where you can pay whatever, $24 and go like however often you want. I still feel like it's a fun recreation. And I think sometimes because maybe people might not be able to afford like huge trips or huge anything, that I think going to the movies has become like kind of like a little night out, and maybe even less than like eating out at like restaurants, So I think no. I feel like maybe a few years ago we loved being at home watching TV, but I think now more and more people are wanting like a movie experience.
That's true. One of the things that kind of bother me is you really don't see a lot of diversity as far as types of movies, genres, and stuff at the movie theaters. There seems to be like maybe a couple of very specific genres that they go for when you're going to the movies.
Yeah, it's rom-com.
So, the thing is that I think the one way that we can change the movie industry a little bit is if they got a little bit more diverse in what they show.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's so funny. It's always a lot of like Avengers and rom-com and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. Or horror. They love horror movies.
Oh yeah, see? Demonic energy, I'm telling you.
Yes. So hopefully they're watching us and maybe they'll hire us to help them come up with some ideas, right?
Exactly. Well, this is perfect for my next topic, which is something that a lot of people watched on Netflix last week. Alex Honnold climbing the Taipei 101 building. And he said that Netflix paid an embarrassing amount for him to do it, and he would do it for free. Now, Alex Honnold is a world-class climber. If people haven't seen the documentary Free Solo yet, I really recommend it because it's when he climbs El Capitan in Yosemite National Park, which I've been lucky enough to go to quite a few times, and like El Capitan is just so beautiful. And when you're there, seeing that someone not only climbed it, but climbed it without any ropes or anything, just, completely free solo is just so crazy. So he scaled the 1,667 foot Taipei 101 in the Taiwanese capital for Netflix's Skyscraper Live last week. And people were freaking out because it was live streamed. So it's like, obviously what happened if something went wrong? Is there a delay? Would they show us if something fell, if he fell? He was definitely paid mid six figures, I've heard, but I don't know. I mean, he said he'd do it for free, but I just think it was crazy too, because as he was climbing, people were in the windows, like looking at him. And so I was freaked out, but knowing him, I just knew that he seems like someone that he's not going to do it live on TV unless he's really, really comfortable with it. Like, he seems, very confident in his own abilities, but he also seems very sensible that he wouldn't put himself on TV if he's like unsure of himself. So I don't know. I hope this doesn't spark a lot of other people just trying it without the skills that he has.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the one thing that really surprised me is that it was live, because I thought the exact same thing you did is, what if something horrible happens? And the other thing too is, as he goes from floor to floor, there's people cheering him on and waving at him, watching him as he goes. So even if you try to stop that footage, you're not going to stop all of it, because again, everyone has a camera now. All phones have cameras. And now the part about him being paid by Netflix probably shouldn't surprise me, but that actually did surprise me. I did not know that part.
I know. Yeah. And I think too, I heard they changed it a day because of the weather. So they were good enough on that end to be like, okay, we're not so locked into the day that we're going to take precaution. And it was funny too. I watched people go to the building and try to even get to like the first rung of it. And it was all these videos of men just hanging and not even be able to like take the first step.
Yeah, I'll watch stuff like that, but would I ever do it? Absolutely not.
Me neither. And it makes me too nervous. Like, we're fans of his for sure. We watched the documentary and like we definitely know who he is, and we're definitely I would qualify us as in the fan category of him. But I didn't want to watch it live. Just it's too nerve-wracking. I'll watch it down the road because I think it's very interesting. But the live aspect makes me feel sick to my stomach. It doesn't make it more exciting for me.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And the other thing too is I hope people aren't stupid enough to try this, because
No,
this guy has been doing this for a long time and he is a professional at it. So please, if you're listening to us or watching this, don't try this. Do not
I
try this.
know. Yeah, not at all.
So I don't know, Mira, will you ever try and climb a building?
Oh my God, I can't even step up on the curb. No, I would be the absolute worst. I really, even for some comedy stages, they have to like carry me on and off.
Oh, interesting show. Well, talk about interesting. This actually is a great one to end this on. Well, for my last one, Sinners makes Oscar history with 16 nominations.
Whoa, amazing.
Well, Sinners sets a new record with 16 Academy Award nominations. Ryan Coogler's Sinners emerged as the biggest contender at the 98th Academy Awards, earning a historic 16 nominations, more than any movie has ever received in Oscar history.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Now, Meryl, did
Good.
you see the movie Sinners?
Yes, we saw it 2 times. We saw it once in the theaters and then once at home, and I loved it. I found it so interesting, and it was a longer movie, and I wasn't antsy once, and I wanted it to keep going. I thought it was like beautiful. I still think about it a lot. In fact, maybe we'll watch it again.
Yes. And you know what's interesting is when I watch it, I don't know about you, but when I saw the trailer for it and stuff like that, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this. But when you actually watch it, it's totally different than what you think it's about. That's what's
Yeah,
interesting.
exactly. Yeah.
So I would say to anyone who hasn't watched it, it definitely is definitely worth watching. You're going to be very surprised at how well this movie is and the different things that it tackles, the different areas, you learn something in the process you watch in the process as you watch this movie as well. And Michael B. Jordan did a hell of a job. I mean, just playing one part is difficult, but
Yeah.
playing a twin and you're playing both twins, kudos. I mean,
Yep.
that's a hell of an acting ability.
And this isn't spoiling it for anyone, but like there's a scene that's kind of like a dance scene, and it shows dance throughout the years and different types of dance, like Zulu, jazz, like a lot of heritage stuff. And I just thought that scene alone, I'm like, oh, they're going to win some awards with that scene, because it was definitely like one of its kind and really special. So I think, yeah, like, and the actresses too, and there's one actress like his love interest. Oh, no. I think the other twins' love interest, not Haley, whatever, but the other woman who's like larger breasts or whatever. I think she's so beautiful, and like, oh my God, I was like obsessed with her. Right? I'm like, that woman is like so stunning and so gorgeous, and so a lot of the supporting cast were just amazing as well.
Yes. Like I said, I would say that the writers did a hell of a job. The actors and actresses. I would say the special effects team, like you said, when they were going through the different genres and stuff, I think it was very well put together. And, a lot of times, Meryl, movies try to do that thing where they try to take you to different places at different times. And sometimes it's not done well enough to where when you watch it, it's like, this doesn't make sense with the movie. And you don't feel that way watching in Sinners. I mean, they really put it together very, very well.
I agree. That's one movie I'm like, okay, I'm ready for a sequel, or like, I need more now.
And that sequel could happen by the way it ended. I don't want to say how it ended, but based on the way it ended, I think they left that door open. What do you think?
I think it's wide open. I think it's very open.
So, in case you don't have anything to do this week or next weekend or whatever, watch that movie Sinners. And that's where you'll see why they got the 16 nominations and go, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I agree. Well, my last one, this is silly. I'm going to state this by saying Meghan Trainor, the singer, is actually someone that I find her very annoying. And so, like, she recently has had I'm sure she's a lovely person. I don't know anything about her in real life. I'm sure she's actually like probably well liked, and I'm sure she's a nice woman. For some reason, she just like rubs me the wrong way, and I find her annoying. But I think she finds herself annoying too, and she would probably find me annoying. But anyway, this is someone that I'm like not a fan of for whatever reason. I wish her the best, but and it's funny because I know she just had a bunch of weight loss, and like sometimes in stand up, I like mention that she's an example where you can like lose weight and still be annoying, and so at any weight you can still irritate me. Basically, she's in the news a lot just because I think people, just like Katy Perry, do find her a little like cringy and sometimes just the stuff she does a little bizarre. But she was under fire recently where she had a baby through a surrogate. She doesn't have her own children, but she recently had a new baby through a surrogate. And she posted a picture of herself in the hospital, and she's like shirtless or has like a robe or a medical thing like around her. So it just looks like she's bare skin, and then she's holding the baby, so it's like the baby's up against her skin, and she posted it, and basically people are saying like she announced that she had a baby via surrogate, and people are mad for different reasons, saying like, why are you posing like you just had this baby yourself, like you didn't, and also people are saying like, oh, now that you just got skinny, now you don't want to ruin your like Ozempic body and everything. Now, as a non-Meghan Trainor fan, someone that actively doesn't like her, I do think this is a bit too far, and I don't think we need to comment on people's like pregnancy photos or surrogacy photos. I think to me it's good that she's connecting with the baby with her skin, even if she didn't just have it, because it's like the baby is new and getting used to everything. So like, why not put the baby on your skin and get it used to your smell and your body and everything? So I'm saying this as kind of like I'm not a hater, but as someone that's like actively doesn't like her. And I just think too, to comment on someone's baby and the way they choose to have a baby is just not appropriate. But she is always like putting herself out there for kind of people to write and, putting herself out there. So I don't know. What do you think?
I have a few thoughts on this. Number one, I agree with you. No one should be commenting what a woman does. What she does with her body, with her child, that's her business. And as far as people feeling, well, she shouldn't do this, she shouldn't do that. One thing I've learned over the years, especially having a son, that the people who criticize or always have something to say, the majority of the time are people that don't even have kids.
Yeah.
And what's amazing about that, girl, I asked several other parents because I wanted to make sure, is it just me? Am I crazy? And they said the exact same thing. And it's just amazing how people really don't have a life and they're in everyone else's life. I would say that, you don't know the situation why she chose to have a surrogate. People are like, comment on her Ozempic body, this and that. You don't know what her mental history is. You don't know what her mental status is. And frankly, it's nobody's business either. If a person wants to choose a surrogacy for their pregnancy, to me, that's their business. And I don't think anyone should be commenting on that.
Yep, exactly. And I do think too, I mean, I know she kind of puts it out there, and I feel like in this day and age, you're just going to have a lot of lovers and a lot of haters if you're someone that's in the public eye. But in a good way, I don't think she cares as much, because like the fact that she kind of flaunts her weight loss and all this kind of stuff, I just think in a good way, I feel like she's used to just being like, this is what I'm doing. And, even her music and everything is supposedly about being confident and stuff. So, yeah.
I think personally, too, she may be just basically controlling the narrative, because unfortunately, when you're in Hollywood, you're in the limelight and all these other things, sometimes it's better to, okay, we know these type of pictures are going to get out as far as family, this and that. So I'm going to control the narrative. And we've seen that over and over again where people have had children or, certain life events happen and they put the pictures out themselves. So which means that one, no one's going to get paid on them because they put them out themselves. And two, they kind of take the wow factor because they put the pictures out.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no leaking it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And also like her kids, she does already have, I think, either 2 or 3 kids, and like they seem very cute and well adjusted. So it's like she's not just a parent that has no clue. Like, she does seem to have a family that is very cute and together. So she seems to know what she's doing.
I agree. And you know what? If she's happy, everyone's happy and happy and safe. Who cares? Live your life,
Exactly. Though, I always use her as an example that I wish there was people that we could just unsubscribe to, like, in our consciousness. Like, it's funny because I'm actively bringing her up. I'm picking her as a topic, so it's my fault for continuing to have this. But I wish there were some people like her and a few others that I would love to hear from our listeners, like who you would wish that you could just like click no thank you for. I'm sure like the Kardashians for some people, where I'm like, with love, I just want them to be deleted, like, from my own personal video game.
So Meryl, tell us how you really feel about her.
I'm sure lots of people want to unsubscribe from me too, but it just, I don't know. I don't know why some people just rub us the wrong way. But even like the way that she just got her bangs cut and everything, I'm like, why are you becoming like more and more annoying?
Well, I do want to hear what people have to say. Who annoys you? I would love for people to come to our social media and tell us. And just so people
I want to know.
I personally read those, so I do see what you guys put out there. So definitely
let
us know.
Them next week. You can stay anonymous.
There you go. Talking about things to come. Meryl, what do you have coming up?
Oh my gosh. What if I'm on tour with Meghan Trainor now? I'm coming up. I have a really fun, a very fun comedy show on Saturday, this Saturday, January 31st at the Ice House in Pasadena. I'm there a lot. And a wonderful comic that a lot of people like, Eliza Schlesinger, is on the bill. So if you don't come for me, come for her. So it'll be really fun. So that's Saturday, January 31st at the Ice House.
Perfect. Well, if you're in the area, you have nothing to do, come check out Meryl. She would definitely love to see you.
Absolutely.
I want to thank everyone for watching and listening to us. This has been a lot of fun. Obviously, our very first topic we talked about was not so fun. And again, continue to practice your rights. Just be smart about what you're doing. Don't put yourself in harm's way. And even if you're following the law, doing stuff, just still be careful. Be really, really careful, because we're in a crazy time right now. Yeah. I'm Lawrence Elrod.
100%. And I'm Meryl Climo.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on elrodthenetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on elrodthenetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to elrodthenetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.